Well, here we are then. Fighting fantasy, monthly fighting fantasy stream. We'll
Boom,
get into
boom.
the book in a minute. But before we do, let's take a look at where the success boards are up to, shall we? So that's books 1 through 12.
2 out of 12.
2 out of 12 there. The Island Lizard King.
Back ones.
Yeah, absolutely. The Scorpion Swamp. And then we're into books 13 to 24 now. So Freeway Fighter, done, smashed it. Rings of Kether, done, smashed it.
Smashed it.
Temple of Terror, though, got the better of us. Now, it should be the Seas of Blood tonight. But because of our Fighting Fantasy book acquisition strategy, which is basically just buy them when you see them,
Yeah.
it sent our narrator duties a bit to pot. So we're jumping ahead one tonight and doing Appointment with Fear, and then we'll go back and redo Seas of Blood a bit later on. So have you got Rebel Planet as well? Are you sitting on top of that one?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I can get it, but I'll try and get it. But yeah, I've done 3 in a row, so I thought it was only fair. And you've already got Seas of Blood, haven't you?
Yes. Yeah.
Didn't see much point in us both buying it, so I bought the one that you didn't have.
Yes. Yeah. So I've got another auction that I'm bidding on right now for a bundle of books, but it's not going well. It's not going well. The books that are on our needs and wants list are increasing horrifically in price, and I go in when it's like 99p, but then by the time the day rolls around for the bid to end, I get sniped at the last minute, and they go to ridiculous prices. So we're going to come very unstuck soon. I've got basically everybody I know hunting out every second-hand bookshop, every charity shop that they can, in the hope of coming across some of the ones we need. We're not too bad at the minute, but when we get into the late 20s and into the 30s, we're going to struggle a great deal. So you'll probably find, dear lovely viewers, I suppose I'm saying that more for the YouTubey folks, but of course for Jordo as well. But you'll probably find that we'll have to, out of necessity, start doing a lot more chopping and changing around, because we're not going to have a great deal of success carrying this on otherwise. Or we'll just, I don't know, stop making it just Fighting Fantasy. I got that Ninja one.
Yeah, you have. Quite fancy having to get the Ninja one.
Yeah, and I saw a nightmare themed one, but I don't know if that's a bit too kiddie. You all right? Is there a bit of lag?
No, I was just seeing if because it's not that focused.
Oh yeah, you do. You look a bit blurry on my screen.
Yeah.
We're on the second to top quality. Let's turn it up one more. That's a bit better.
Maybe you should make it a bit more blurry.
All right, fair enough then. So it's appointment.
Shiny today.
Very shiny. It's Appointment with Fear tonight. Andy's going to narrate, and I'll be playing the role of the character. So without further ado, we'll crack on. Jordo's gone quiet. It's possibly in work. What time is it in Jordo land? It's like 2 PM for him.
Saturday, though, isn't it?
Yeah, he works Saturdays though sometimes.
Right. Okay. Where do we probably played Fighting Fantasy before? Blah blah blah.
Most certainly have. Right. Gavin.
There's a bit of admin to do at the start. So you don't get to choose a name because you've got a name for this one.
Oh right. Okay.
And you are Jean Lafayette.
Jean Lafayette.
You're the product of a dangerous but successful genetic experiment. Although seemingly normal as a child, it became apparent in your early teens that you were far from an ordinary human being. You are gifted with a superhuman power, which you have sworn to use only for the benefit of your fellow man.
Right.
As the Silver Crusader, you are
Oof.
well known to the population of Titan City. Most people admire you, some distrust you, but all members of the underworld fear you. Only your parents,
Arthur.
who are both dead, ever knew your real identity and the origin of your power. In the adventures ahead, you will begin with one of 4 powers.
Right.
During your
Okay.
daily activities and encounters with disasters and supercriminals, you will have 2 objectives.
Okay.
First, you must learn the whereabouts of the secret meeting of F.E.A.R, Federation of Euro American Rebels,
Right.
which is due to take place within the next few days.
Okay.
This dangerous alliance of master criminals and enemy agents is planning to overthrow the governments of the Western world and establish their own rule. Secondly, you may assess your own performance as a superhero by trying to gain as many hero points as possible.
Oof.
So, before you start each adventure, you may choose which superpower to start with from the 4 powers listed below. You will also start the game with knowledge of 2 clues. Following the description of each superpower, you will find instructions on where to find your clues, which are
Mm.
hidden in the text of the adventure. Before you turn to reference 1, which are basically number 1, to start your adventure, choose your superpower, locate and read the clues, and enter the information on your adventure sheet.
Right.
So here's your choice of superpowers.
Okay.
I will run through them. I'll give you the superpowers and I'll run through the descriptions. So you've got super strength, you've got psi powers, you've
Right.
got enhanced technological skill, ETS, obs, and energy blast. So super strength, you have the strength of many men. The muscles on your immensely powerful legs and arms bulge through the fabric of your costume. They are developed to the point of perfection, and in combat situations, you always fight with a skill of 13. You also
Wow.
have the power to fly through the air at any speed you wish. This allows you to hover unsupported above the ground or to chase and catch up with the fastest jet. Uh, and then it gives you the choice of references for clues. So, psi powers.
Right.
You have extraordinary mental abilities. You're able to reach into the thoughts of most other humans and some animals, to read their minds and influence them. You also have limited powers to make objects move mentally and even to change the very nature of some elements. However, using this power is an enormous mental effort for you. Each time you use your psi power, you must deduct 2 stamina points.
Oof. Don't like that.
Okay, then you've got enhanced technological skill, the ETS. Your considerable intelligence has allowed you to develop a whole collection of high-tech gadgetry. Through advanced microcircuitry designs, you have been able to miniaturize most of these gadgets so that they will fit conveniently into a special accessory belt worn around your waist. Whatever the situation, you are usually fortunate enough to have something appropriate to use. However, you have avoided developing weaponry in case any weapon you have developed should ever fall into the wrong hands and be used by the criminal elements to wreak untold havoc.
Okay.
Okay, and then last but not least is Energy Blast. You are able to summon an electrostatic energy from within your own body and channel it out of your fingertips. You can aim these energy bolts at adversaries or objects, and your control is such that you know before you aim how much force will be needed to deal with them. You have taken a personal oath that you will only stun any human target, no matter how villainous your opponent may be. When using Energy Blast, you need to only determine whether or not your aim is true. If you hit a human opponent, the effect will be an automatic stun. Test your aim by rolling 2 dice. The result is equal to or less than your skill score, the bolt is hit. If the result is higher than your skill, you have missed, and a normal battle must be fought, or the situation must be resolved as per the instructions in the text. Sometimes You will not be able to use a second bolt. Each time you use an energy blast, you must deduct 2 stamina points.
Ooh.
There's your choice.
Right. So the psi power and energy blast take
Yeah.
stamina off me. Tech skills sounds kind of cool. It's a bit like, hey, Goose is here.
Batman, ain't it?
It sounds a bit Batman-y, maybe a bit
Tiny
Iron
Manny.
Man-y, yeah, which sounds cool, but just the flat outright strength of 13.
Yeah.
What was the downside of the strength again?
None.
There's no downside of the strength. But the psi power, like one of my missions is to find a meeting, so a bit of mind reading and psychic stuff. Oh, I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I'm quite blunt. I would definitely go superpower, like super strength, but that's because that's how I was built.
What about you, chat? What do you think? With superpower, strength, psi, special tech dude, do I get a utility belt or shoot energy blasts?
Be the Emperor, or you could be Batman, or you could be psi powers. Who's got psi powers like
Oh, like Jean Grey.
Jean Grey, or you could be Superman. How I
Well,
boil it down.
yeah, I don't know. Just being strong and flying, just boom, no downside, does seem pretty attractive, doesn't it?
Mm.
Just straight up,
But you know what
you
these
know.
books are like.
Yeah, that's true. Um, the tech skills is calling out to me because I like Batman though.
My
And
utility belt. Kapow!
yeah,
Thwap.
exactly. Yeah, that sounds cool. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Energy blast sounds a bit boring. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll the dice. 1 or a 2 is strength. 3 or 4 is psi power. 5 or 6 is energy blast. Let's leave
Or
it up to the.
tech.
Sorry, tech. Yeah. It's a 3. It's the psi powers.
Psi powers. Okay, so psi powers. You get 2 clues.
Right.
Your first clue is this. Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
A recent visitor from Metroville, the Tiger Cat has arrived in town. This extraordinary villainess is a fierce fighter that can instantly disguise herself as a harmless pussycat.
Right.
And then you can choose clue 1, 2, or 3. Or if you care, 280, 152, or 108. Let's go 1, 2, 3.
Right. So that's my clue. That little riddle.
Well, it's just basically saying that the Tiger Cat, because obviously there's this big meeting of all the baddies, and it's
Yeah.
saying that the Tiger Cat has arrived in town. The villainess can turn herself into a harmless
Oh, now I definitely wish I'd gone for Batman tech if I'm going to meet Catwoman.
Catwoman. But yeah,
Yeah.
and you've got another clue you can choose from. So you can
All
choose
right.
from clue 1, 2, or 3.
Let's go number 3.
Okay. 1, 8. Your second clue is there is a new menace in town, as Daddy Rich's lawyers have just got him off a murder charge. He is an eccentric millionaire who has everything money could buy. He now gets his kicks by murdering innocent victims and revels in their fear. He has a very expensive tastes and lives in a penthouse apartment at 113 58th Street.
All right, we've got a location on this guy then.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, excellent.
Right,
All right,
now you
we've got
need
psi
to.
powers. Got a couple of things. I need to roll up some stats, presumably.
Yeah, we do. So battles, so there's hero points in you can collect. I think all it does is kind of say how hero-y you are. Let's have a look. How to battle, blah blah blah. choice of 4 superpowers. Hero points. When you overcome supervillains, you will be awarded hero points to allow you to compare the success of one adventure to another. Combat is basically the same. So let's roll your skill, stamina, and luck. So skill is no, it's not auto 13. You didn't go for that. So 1 die and add 6.
1 die and add 6. Oh fuck! Are you looking at the screen right now?
Yep.
So my skill is 7.
Your stamina is 2 dice, add 12.
Stamina, 2 dice, add 12. Oh, that's not bad. 20.
And then your luck is 1 dice, add 6.
Luck. 12.
Oh. All right.
God damn it. Skill 7. Fuck's
So
sake.
let's have a look. You'll often come across pages in the book which instruct you to fight a villain of some sorts. Okay, yeah, that's the same as fighting. If you manage to reduce the stamina score of a criminal to 0, you have killed him and must lose 1 hero point as a result. Unlike other fighting fantasy games, which you may not kill the criminals you are fighting, as you're a sworn upholder of justice, you may not take the life of a supervillain, no matter how evil he or she may be, but they will be attempting to kill you. If you manage to reduce the stamina score of a criminal to 0, you have killed him and must lose a hero point. When a criminal has been reduced to 1 or 2 stamina points, he will surrender himself to you. All right, so when he gets to 1 or 2 points, then he goes, I give up, bad man.
I give up. What do you want to know? Silver Crusader.
And then you get
Silver Crusader.
Yeah, and then as you defeat superheroes and solve crimes, you will be awarded hero points. Record them on your adventure sheet. Hero points have got nothing to do with your main objective, which is to locate the secret F.E.A.R meeting and capture Vladimir Otoshoki, the titanium cyborg. Spoiler alert. Hero points are a measure of how successful you are in your adventure. Each time you go through the book, record hero points and score and compare each adventure as you follow. Cool.
Right,
Clues.
okay.
What does it say about clues? We did clues. Whichever superpower, they help you trace and capture the city's criminals. You will not be able to find some villains without knowledge of the appropriate clues. Some relate to villains and their crimes, others start blah blah blah. That you must find these F.E.A.R clues. Remember also that when you try the adventure using different superpowers, the F.E.A.R clues you will need to be held by different villains. Okay, cool.
Right.
Bum, 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 bum. Here we go. The time of your birth was an anxious moment for your parents and their doctors. Your mother had consented to undergo an experimental form of genetic surgery. The doctors had warned her of the dangers of the radiation experiments. Their research program was nowhere near complete, but she already knew, for she herself was one of the researchers. The work had reached the stage where progress was impossible without testing it on a human subject. Your father had not fully understood the implications when he gave his consent, and 8 pairs of apprehensive eyes watched your arrival into the world. Their first reaction was one of relief. You certainly seemed a normal, healthy baby. Postnatal tests show no physical deformities whatsoever. In fact, you appeared to be a fine specimen. In your younger years, your development was carefully monitored with a seemingly endingless series of psychological and physiological tests, all of which you passed with flying colours. The doctors and researchers congratulated themselves. Their experiments were a complete success. However, the experiments had been conducted in a shroud of secrecy. Had the world known of the risks of the experiment, public outcry would have been overwhelming. It would have certainly put an end to further genetic research. And from your mother's point of view, she had no wish to have the world regard you as an experimental freak. Only a few knew what had really happened. Over the years, the testing stopped as the doctors felt more and more certain that there was no need to monitor your progress. As fate would have it, it was just when this testing stopped that it became clear that you were anything but a normal child. Your latent superhuman powers did not show themselves until after the doctors lost their interest. Your parents, who had become thoroughly fed up with the endless tests, decided that your extraordinary powers must remain a secret from the world. They had no wish to have you studied as some kind of freak for the rest of your life. You have a regular job working in an office of a medium-sized company. But when duty calls, you become the Silver Crusader, upholder of justice, and you have taken an oath to serve in the fight against crime in Titan City. Apart from your own superhero abilities, you have other devices to aid you.
Oh,
Your
right.
crime watch. Oh, the other device to aid you, your crime watch. This neat little device worn around your wrist receives and broadcasts transmissions to and from your two most important allies. You can be contacted by police headquarters through this crime watch, and you can also summon the police to aid you. In addition, your friend and underworld contract, Jerry the Grass, is able to warn you of impending crimes through the crime watch. Jerry the Grass has recently become aware of an important meeting about to take place within the next few days. Vladimir Utoshok, Ot- Otoshi, Vladimir Otto, leader of F.E.A.R, the Federation of Euro-American Rebels, have been summoning his aides in crime to meet at Titan City. Otto, also known as the Titanium Cyborg, is a supervillain whose field of expertise is the electronic enhancement of human abilities. He is part man, part machine, and very, very dangerous. Jerry the Grass has not yet found out where or when this meeting is due, but one thing is certain. Its purpose is to finalize plans for a scheme that would mean disaster for the Western world. The meeting must be stopped. You must find out where and when this meeting is due to take place and prevent it at all costs.
You got
May
it.
your stamina never fail.
Another thrilling fantasy
Bum,
adventure.
bum, bum. As you walk the 10 blocks to work that morning, you can't help but feel that there's something not quite right. You stop by a telephone booth to consider what it could be. The sound of the city is the usual 8 a.m. cacophony. Cars and buses bounce past along Clark Street, their drivers too sleepy even to avoid the pits and bumps in the road. A newspaper vendor bawls an incomprehensible headline, something about a robbery, at the crowds of men and women milling past him on their way to work. Overhead in the sky, the rhythmic beating of a traffic copter's blades fades into the distance. An argument is taking place between an elderly businessman and an overly large woman with an untrained dog, whose sidewalk deposits are offending the businessman.
Ah.
There is nothing unusual, or is there?
Oh.
The difference is only barely perceptible, but there is a distinct air of tension in the streets. There are nervous twitches in the eyes of the passers-by. The cars are accelerating and braking in a jittery manner. Little things like that. To your heightened senses, the atmosphere is pregnant. Today will not just be another day. Weird term. Um, your thoughts are broken by the high-pitched wailing of a police siren. A yellow and black Cougar GS screeches around the corner and leaps ahead through the Clark Street traffic, before swinging left into Audubon Park. Behind it, the traffic settles back into its regular flow. Your, your attention drifts back to the argument. A small crowd has built up around the man and woman. Raised voices are taking one side or the other, and the situation is beginning to look nasty. What do you do next? You go over and see if you can break up the argument. You run after the police car into Audubon Park. You buy a newspaper to find out about the robbery, or do you just ignore everything and go to work?
um, let's uh, let's go and try and break up the argument.
Okie doke.
I like to get my intelligence on the street. You're not getting
Okay.
paid. Yeah, just go to work.
Do you wish to step into the crowd in street clothes or nip round the corner to change into the Silver Crusader?
change into the Silver Crusader. Citizens,
Oh yeah, why would you not want to
please.
do that? Okay. In your shimmering costume, you step towards the crowd. If you have ETS, no. If you have psi powers, turn to 9. You do have psi powers.
Time to take control of some brains.
Yeah, just literally, just what, just mind control everyone into being flying and walking on like a
Yeah.
true super villain should do. You establish line of sight with the man and woman in the center of the crowd and concentrate. As your powers take effect, their argument dwindles and ceases. They look around in astonishment at the crowd which is built up. The woman shrugs her shoulders and walks off with her dog. The man looks towards you and freezes. Keeping your psi powers focused on him for as long as you are able, you realize this man is not as he appears. He's desperately trying to keep you from some dark secret. His thoughts go to the gold watch on his wrist, but then he fights to keep the watch out of his mind. He briefly focuses on a pawnbroker's shop, which is next to a diner. Could he be a pawnbroker? You will never know, for in the next instance, he breaks line of sight and disappears into the crowd. You spring forward to try and relocate him, but it's no use. Meanwhile, the crowd has long since lost interest in the argument, and 50 wide-eyed faces are staring at you. So you decide to leave. After changing, you may go into the park, go to work, or buy a paper.
Right. So I'm not gonna follow the guy or check out the pawn shop or.
Now,
Let's buy a paper. Find out about this robbery. It's called Pornhub.
you study the newspaper under the headline Alchemist in Cleveland. The story describes how a notorious gang of chemical experts entered a branch of the Cleveland Bank on 113th Street at 4 a.m., bypassed the alarm, locked the security guard in the vault on a time switch, and made off with a number of safe deposit boxes. Although it was impossible to tell how much was taken in the raid, claims from the owners of the deposit boxes are now coming in. Apart from cash, many valuable papers have been stolen. Do you want to investigate the robbery as the Silver Crusader, or will you see what else is in the paper?
Um. Yeah.
Odd questions.
Yeah, it is. I'm just weighing up like the hero points, the gaining of hero points. What use is that? Do I just
That
go for a
is
laser beam
solely,
focus to find the meeting location, or
yeah,
do I
the
go
hero
in?
points is only to do with if you play it multiple times to see you can beat how many hero points you gain.
Right. So I'm assuming then investigating the robbery is a hero points kind of thing. It's not probably not connected to the F.E.A.R meeting, is it?
No, but probably right.
I will continue to read the paper and see what other information I can gather.
386. In the personal column of the newspaper, you find an interesting snippet which reads, Richard Storm, all is forgiven. How was I to know she was a private nurse? Phone me on 555 999. Love, Susan. A private nurse? What's all this about? If you now want to proceed to the bank as the Silver Crusader, or do you want to go to work?
Right. So basically, Richard Storm has banged the nanny.
Richard Storm, all is forgiven. How was I to know she was a private nurse? Phone me, love, Susan.
But then it gives me no option to ring the number or follow up that line of investigation. Okay, let's go to the bank. I'm not going to work.
One, one, two. The police and bank officials fall silent as you step through the door of the bank. Do you want to interrogate the branch manager, the chief detective investigating the case, or the security guard?
Let's have a word with the detective first. If nothing else, it's polite wandering onto his crimes.
Yeah, fair. Ooh. The chief detective is contemptuous about superheroes. In his eyes, fighting crime is a job for the police, not for what he calls amateur detectives. Nevertheless, you do find some information about the event. The alchemist's master of advanced chemistry had neutralized the alarm with some sort of acidic gas, which delayed it from being activated as they forced their way in. Another unknown compound had dissolved the security lock of the main door. Why the security guard had not noticed the intruders was still a mystery, which would only be solved when the time lock released him from the vault. But now he assures you that the situation is well under control and in his hands. There is no need for any amateur in fancy pants getting involved.
Oh. Have you just
Sorry,
turned...
my book hit the keyboard and muted me. Just as you leave, you talk to one of the police officers who lives near Starker's Beach. Starker's Beach.
What goes
There
on
are
there?
reports of the sighting of a giant shark just off the beach, and he would be grateful if you would investigate. He's got 2 children who swims every weekend, and he's worried about their safety. You tell him that you'll look into it. If you wish to go to the beach straight away, go or not. So, do you want to go to the beach or not?
No, let's. While I'm at the bank, I'll finish my inquiries at the bank, please.
I think that the detectives kind of told you to fuck off.
Well, you know. And
Okay. Okay. As you leave the bank, you hear a bleeping noise coming from your wrist. Your crime watch is receiving a message from Jerry the Grass. The electronic voice speaks 2 words: Parker Airport. If you want to head straight away to the airport, if, on the other hand, you still not have finished with the alchemist, you may be heading somewhere else. This is the case. Deduct the avenue number from the street number and turn to this reference.
What?
You obviously haven't.
Deduct the avenue number from the street number.
It says, if on the other hand you have still not yet finished with the alchemists, you may be heading somewhere else. If this is the case, deduct the avenue number from the street number and turn to the reference.
No, I'm after Daddy Rich, aren't I? That's who I've got.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Daddy Rich and Catwoman.
So I'm gonna have to take the other option then, yeah.
Going to the airport.
So I'm just ignoring the shark now then.
Yeah, you gave up on that. You arrive at Parker Airport and ask the nearby security guard whether anything is happening. The Silver Crusader, he gasped. Thank goodness you're here. Follow me. I'll take you to the control tower. You don't know why he speaks like that. You follow him up the control tower where you find the place buzzing with activity. The air traffic controller greets you nervously. Have you heard? No? The police are on their way. Some guy calling himself the Tormentor has hijacked a DC-10 full of passengers to London. He's mad. No demands, nothing. He says he'll crash the plane. Blames it all on Susan. We don't know what to do. A complete nutter. Is there anything you can do? Is there anything you can do? If Susan means something to you, turn to 141. If not, then you can use your powers if you have a super strength or if you have psi powers. But Susan does mean something to you, doesn't she?
Susan does mean something to me. She was the one who wrote the message to Richard Storm.
I think so. Wasn't that right?
No, well, I only wrote Richard Storm. I didn't write the name of the lady who.
Oh dear.
Was it Susan, everybody? Does anyone else remember?
Can you remember if it was Susan, folks?
Rob?
I think it was Susan.
I mean, if I'm here actively playing the game, I mean, those guys are probably, just got us broadcasting. Jordan says he's doing some design work. They probably paid even less attention than I did to the name of the person who wrote the ad. Was it Susan?
Let me skip and check. I'm pretty sure it was. Oh yeah. Susan is the person. So if the name means
Okay.
anything to you, you will have a 7-digit telephone number. Add all the 7 digits together and turn to this reference.
All right. 555 is 15. 999 is what's that? 27. 15 plus
It was
27.
9999.
Was it? Oh, I only wrote
Yeah.
3 nines down. So what's that? 36. 36 plus 15. 46. 51. 51? That's right, Jonah. Who said there was going to be this maths?
You call up Susan, and a young woman answers the phone. She bursts into tears when you tell her what is happening, and she agrees to come to the airport straight away. An hour later, she arrives. Susan Blythe is a young, attractive, and distressed at what is happening. Young, attractive, and distressed at what is happening. She agrees to talk to the tormentor over the radio. Richard, she sobs. Richards, it's me, Susan. There is a pause before a man's voice answers. Susan, what are you doing there? Oh, Richard, she answers. Don't do this. These people have done nothing to you, and I know that the girl was a private nurse now, but how was I to know at the time? Gripping stuff, you think, but at least she's getting through to him. 10 minutes later, she has talked him out of his original plan. He agrees to land the plane safely, which he does, amid great cheers from the control tower staff. If you have
Well,
super strength, turn to no. So otherwise, go to 285.
why? Do I need? Am I going to have to run out onto the runway and overpower him or something? No.
You watch from the control tower as the tormentor steps out of the plane and gives himself up to the police, who are waiting on the runway. The air traffic controller thanks you for your help, and you leave. You may add 2 hero points.
Yeah.
Work. Well done, reading the newspaper.
Yeah. That was tough. I really felt the tension. I was sweating. You know.
It's hectic. You leave the airport and head for home. What a day! Got out of working. You slump into a chair in front of the TV and relax with a long, cold drink. You may add 6 stamina points for the rest.
I haven't lost any.
Uh, one thing disturbs you. Your boss, Jonah White, will be livid when you turn up for work tomorrow. You will have to invest some pretty convincing excuses. The next morning, you set off to work early. You decide to travel by subway to make sure you get to work on time. But since when has a superhero's life ever been easy? Help! Shouts a voice further up the crowded carriage. Pickpocket! Oh no, just what you need. You force your way through the crowd on the busy train. As you reach the pickpocket's victim, a familiar beep, beep, beep sounds from your crime watch. The electronic voice speaks. Rad Square, hurry! You sigh. But what will you do? The train is pulling into a station and you will have to change trains immediately if you are to reach Rad Square quickly. Do you want to do that, or do you want to apprehend the pickpocket?
No, I'm going to apprehend the pickpocket because there's a pawn shop on my radar as well,
There is a pawn shop on your radar.
and I feel like
185.
that might be linked.
You rush up. You rush up to a puny-looking, bespectacled man who is shaking with fright. There, he cries, pointing to a man running up the next carriage. He's stolen my wallet. I think he stole his wallet. You race after him. No one else moves. They don't want to get involved. If you could only change into the Silver Crusader. Roll 2 dice and compare the total with your skill score. Your amazing skill score.
I'm exact 7.
If it is less than or equal, then go to that. Or if it's greater, all right, that looks positive. 166. You gain ground and catch up with a pickpocket. As you grab him, he spins round to face you and draws out a knife. You will have to fight him with your bare hands, as you cannot
Right.
risk revealing
No.
yourself as the Silver Crusader. The pickpocket is a skill 7, stamina 6.
Right. Okay. I'm also skill 7, but I've got stamina 20. So can we just stab each other until he falls?
Yeah, you just let him stab you. Right, let's go.
Right. Here we go.
Got 7, which is 15.
Oh, 13 for me.
Stab.
Ooh. My plan is working perfectly. Until he exhausts himself.
4, 7, 11.
Oh my god. 10.
Ooh, low.
You know.
Okay, 6 and 7 is 13.
Oh, that's better. 17.
Okay, chalk 2 off. Did He's 7-6, so he's now 7-4.
7-4. Here we go. Ooh.
6 plus 7 is 13.
Yeah, I got 6 too, so that's a draw.
Ooh, yuck. 3. So
7.
10.
14.
Right.
So this could be the last roll. Jump in chat, exclamation D12 for me, please.
13 to beat.
Chat can take this roll.
13 to beat. 13 to beat.
Oh, nice roll, Rob. Yeah, that's 16 for me. Take that,
Okay.
dirty pickpocket.
Okay. 2, 9. You go through the man's pockets and retrieve the wallet. He is carrying some peculiar things, no doubt the pickings of his trade. Along with his wallet, you find a cigarette packet that contains a... Of course, when he was down to 2, you apprehend him, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, let's say you did that. Along with the wallet, you find a cigarette packet which contains a crumpled piece of paper, a tape cassette, and a map. You don't know what the tape cassette is because it's 20 years old and you were only born 17 years ago. Before handing the pickpocket over to a security guard on the train, you managed to take one of these from him. Which did you take? The cigarette packet, the cassette tape, or the map?
Oh. Ooh. The cigarette packet had some crumpled paper in it. There's nothing to indicate what might actually be beneficial there, is there? I'm curious about the tape cassette. I may have just taken his essentials mix. does he happen to have a Sony Walkman I can borrow as well?
You sit down to a kid listening to a Walkman and borrow it to listen to the tape. It seems to be a recording of a telephone conversation between a man and a woman. The conversation ends. Don't worry, the treasures are being collected and replaced by our agent, Mustafa Kareem. We will have them all soon. Remember, we meet the day after tomorrow on board the yacht. Okay, bye. Interesting stuff. This Mustafa Kareem sounds like a dubious character. If you come across him, you may question him about his activities by doubling the reference number you are on at the time and turning to the new reference.
What?
Okay, so if you meet Mustafa Kareem, you can question him by doubling the page number that you are on at the time.
Right.
Add 1 luck point for discovering this message. Oh, done.
All right. Okay, cool.
Right. The train stops at Grim Street Station and you get off to go to work. You try to settle into your desk discreetly. No such luck. Lafayette, get in here at once. No sooner have you stepped through the office door than Jonah White's booming voice summons you. You creep into his office, mumbling scanty excuses about being late again. Enough, he yells. What do you think we're running here, a charity? Do you suppose I should be grateful that you've ever graced us with your presence? Very noble of you indeed to even bother coming in at all. Well, I tell you what, I'll feel kind today. You can have the rest of the day off without pay. And if you're not in first thing tomorrow morning, you can start looking for a new job. You slink out of his office with your tail between your legs. How can you tell him what you've been doing? And now you've been suspended for a day. Where will you go? Will you spend your day at Disneyland, the amusement park, or will you, you go downtown, perhaps to do some shopping?
So I'm not going to go to Rad Square at
No,
all
that's
then.
gone. That's gone.
Okay. Let's go to the theme park.
Let's go to Disneyland.
Yeah. We'll recreate. Do I get a big laser now?
Disneyland is a swarming with holidaymakers enjoying their day out at the amusement park. The smell of candy floss and hot dogs hang in the air, and as you stroll around, youngsters clutching stuffed animals run laughing past you. Screams of delight from roller coaster riders turning through the corkscrew break through the general hubbub. You are going to enjoy yourself today. Which ride do you want to try? The
Ooh.
Big Dipper, the Fun House, or the Dodgems?
Oh, Funhouse.
Fun House is a
It's a
whole lot of
whole
fun
lot
with
of fun. The
prizes to be
prize is to
won.
be won.
A real quiz show where anything goes. 174. You pay the admission charge and enter the fun house. You walk along the narrow passageway. As you turn a dark corner, a luminous skeleton appears in front of you. Shrieking wildly, you jump and then laugh. Just one of the scares of the fun house. Further down the passage, your feet stumble on a wobbly floor. Then the walls begin to sway. Suddenly, your foot steps on something as you fall forwards. But this time, it's not a wobbly floor. You fall through the ground and land on a rubber mattress in a dark pit. Although it is pitch black, you can tell that you are not alone. Another figure touches you. A voice calls, but you. A voice calls, but and you answer. Oh, thank God, someone else is here, gasps a man's voice. I have been here for 2 hours. I can't find a way out. And not only that, my wallet's gone. I'm sure it's been stolen. I don't think this was any accident. My name is Grant Morley, a reporter for Titan Times, and I've been covering an expose to reveal the identity of Scarlet Prankster. Earlier, I
Scarlet
met an
Prankster.
informant key to one of the rooms here, where he thought I could get some useful information. That key was in my wallet. Who puts a key in their wallet? Silly man. You
Certainly
consider
not
the
me.
situation. The Scarlet Prankster is a dangerous criminal who delights in grisly practical jokes. You decide to change into the Silver Crusader under the cover of pitch blackness. Then, the two of you search the walls for a way out. You find a hidden door which lets you into the main room of the funhouse. So if you have super strength, no. If you have
Nope.
ETS, no. If you have psi powers or energy blast, go to 143. Where do you want to begin your investigation? The funhouse's main attractions are buzzing with people, although most are now staring at you with open eyes. Will you check the rotating room, the trampolines, or the Hall of Mirrors?
The trampolines.
The trampolines are along one wall of the funhouse. They appear to be sturdily constructed. There is nothing special about them. You try bouncing on one and find that you can reach quite a height. While bouncing, though, you notice something suspicious. Higher up in the wall is a doorway almost impossible to notice from the ground, as it is carefully blended into the wall. You bounce higher and find that you can reach a ledge if you bounce a little higher. Grabbing onto the bars by the side of the door, you open the door and leap inside. Your hunch was correct. Standing at the control panel inside the room is a figure dressed in a red jester's outfit. The Scarlet Prankster wanted for a robbery and assault. You must apprehend this criminal.
Hey, Donny.
Scarlet Prankster. He is skill 9 and stamina 8.
Skill 9, stamina 8.
But remember, when you get into the last two, you
Yeah, although he is tougher than me.
yeah, he's going to batter you.
Right, here we go then.
Oh, poor roll for 13.
13, 10.
Huh.
Yeah, the book is winning. Well, I don't know. It's hard to measure, Donny. But my stats, my attack stats are crap. I rolled my character up badly, so.
19.
Oh, Jesus. 10 again. I keep rolling 3. Can I go back to my flat for a cold drink again?
Maybe. 4 plus 9, 13.
Oh, that's better. What's that? 7. 14.
Got him.
Take that, Scarlet Prankster.
Snake Eyes, 11.
Oh, I got 9. 16. That's more like it.
Okay, right. You
Take
get
a
one
roll,
more
chat.
hit.
Exclamation D12.
5. 14.
14. Right, we need a 8 or higher, please. We roll a 4. No. No. All right, then.
6. 15.
7. 14. Seems like a pattern for me. I always roll bad skill numbers.
13.
Ooh, 6, 7, 8. 15! Yeah!
Hey, so it's down to 2. You apprehend him.
All right, consider yourself
So-
apprehended, Scarlet Prankster dude.
Getting the prankster down from his secret chamber is no easy feat. But with a carefully timed spring on the trampoline below, you manage to get back to the ground and you can hand the villain over to the police outside the funhouse. Outside the funhouse. You may add 3 hero points for capturing the prankster.
Hooray! 1, 2, 3. I feel like there's a lot of admin. Got paper everywhere.
Where are you heading as you leave Disneyland? Will you make your way downtown to do some shopping or go home?
Am I not going to question this guy to ask him if he knows anything about the secret F.E.A.R meeting location?
Nah, mate. So you can go shopping or you can go home. If you go home, you may rest for the evening, in which case you gain 6 stamina points.
Let's do that. I've only got 8 stamina.
Or you may wish to sacrifice stamina, the stamina gain, and spend the evening at a theatre if you can get tickets for tonight's performance of Rats. So you can go shopping, you can go home, or you could go out for the evening to the theatre. This is very strange.
Yeah, I'm going to go home for a kit because I've only got 8 stamina left. Which will take me back up to 14. Was it 6, did you say?
Yeah, 3, 2.
Yeah, so that's the equivalent of having your provisions, isn't it?
Yeah, going home for a nice cold drink. Next morning, you leave for work early. You are sorely tempted to leave your crime watch behind. You dare not miss another day's work, but your fears are unwarranted. To your utter amazement, your crime watch is silent. You arrive at work early. Jonah White cannot believe his eyes as you enter the office to find you hard at work at your desk. At lunchtime, you catch up on the day's news and on Teletext TV.
Have a quick look for a discount holiday.
Yeah. The football scores. 2 stories catch your attention.
Right.
One is of a strange attack in Alderbourne Park. The woman has been seriously mauled by what she calls a monster, but a specialist at the hospital thinks the claw marks are of an animal of some kind. The second story is of a man who has had his chest crushed to the grounds, who had his chest crushed in the grounds of the Natural History Museum. There are no clues as to who or what is responsible. It is as if whatever caused the man's death simply walked away. Both incidents are being investigated by the police. You decide to do a little investigation of your own. You change into the Silver Crusader, not the Silver Surfer, and set off to make your inquiries. Where do you want to go? Do you want to go to the natural? Well, hold on. So there's attack at the park and natural history museum. Do you want to go to the Natural History Museum, or do you want to go to Titan Zoo, or do you want to go to Warnham and Whaley's Travelling Circus?
What? So that's all to do with the monster attack, then, isn't it? I'm investigating creatures there, going to the zoos and
Oh, I'm with
circuses.
you.
But I'm conducting no line of investigation around the man crushed at the History Museum. So I'll go to. Was the park one of the options? Did you say?
No, there's the museum, the zoo, or the travelling circus.
Let's do the museum. Let's go check out the dead guy situation. I mean, at least I think that's why I would go to the circus or the zoo, because I'm
Yes,
going to
so, yeah.
see if any of the animals have got bloody claws or something.
The curator of the Natural History Museum is very helpful and agrees to
good.
show you around the exhibits. Will you
Excellent.
ask him to show you the model reconstructions of dinosaurs or the large mammals section?
Dinosaurs.
Yeah, dinosaurs are far more exciting.
But again, I've not gone, oh, listen, what can you tell me about the man who had his chest crushed here last night? Do you know anything? Is there any unusual activity at the museum recently? No, it's, can I have a look around the exhibits?
Yeah. The dinosaur exhibits are very realistic, but the curator merely laughs when you suggest the possibility of one of them being responsible for the man's death. Apart from the fact that these creatures have been dead for several million years, he chuckles, how on earth would you suggest they got out of the building? Through the doors? One of these brutes would take the side of the museum with it if they decided to go and look for another home. No, if you're looking for clues to the murder, I suggest you try Titan Zoo. You'll have better luck there. You
Right.
feel a little foolish for even making the suggestion. If you want to try the zoo, go to one thing. Otherwise, if you decide that you want to bin off this whole thing, go to another one.
I want to ask him about whether he's been in the museum after midnight.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? I suppose I'll go to Titan Zoo then. That's twice he's given me that option, so
yeah. It's pretty
yeah,
much wanting you to go that way.
I'll take the hint.
Or when you arrive at the zoo gates, you question the attendant, asking whether there have been any reports of animals escaping from their cages over the last couple of days. The attendant is obviously excited to see you. Gosh, hi, Crusader, he stammers. Yes, I did hear something about an escape, but I don't know any more about it. You'll have to ask the director. I'll take you to him if you like. You tell him
Please
to
do.
lead the way. But as you turn to follow him, a beep, beep, beep comes from your wrist. You hold up the crime watch to your ear. Museum of Egyptian Heritage, it speaks. You want to follow its advice and head straight away to the museum, or do you want to ignore this message and follow the attendant?
Uh, let's follow the attendant. The book likes to do this. It likes to say, "You're gonna finish the one you're on right now, or do you want another one?"
Or just spin it off and go to another one. He
And then
takes you to.
but you never go to the other one. I've written giant shark. The acid gas didn't do anything with the acid gas. Not looked into the gold watch.
He takes you on a long trek through the zoo until you eventually reach the administration offices, where he introduces you to the director. You ask him more about the escape. Good Lord, Crusader, he says. I mean, yes, we have had an escape, but it's hardly a national disaster. After all, what harm can an escaping aardvark do? Maybe eat a few termites, but I'm sure no one will shed any tears over that, will they? An aardvark, you think? The director is right. You're hardly likely to cause any damage. You leave the zoo. Where will you go now? Do you want to follow the call to the Egyptian Museum, or do you think it's too late now and instead go home?
Oh, I'll go to the Egyptian Museum then.
Yeah,
Al-
crime to
Although
be foiled.
I'd like to know whether this aardvark's mother was part of an experimental genetic,
Yeah.
science.
There we go. The Museum of Egyptian Heritage is in the Middletown area. Everything seems pretty normal when you enter and you make for the head curator's office. Dr. Kabla is an elderly professor type with white hair and a thick white moustache that hangs over his mouth. He is surprised to see you, but assures you that as far as he knows, everything is in order. He offers to double check all his treasures to make sure nothing has disappeared. Do you wish him to do this, or will you ask him to get someone to show you round?
Say that again. What's my options?
He offers to double check all his treasures to make sure nothing has disappeared.
Yes,
Would you
the
like him
treasures.
to
The
do
treasures.
this? You want to do this, or will you ask him to get someone to show you around the treasures?
The treasures. Yeah, because Egyptian Mustafa Kareem.
Oh, yeah. I like what you're thinking.
That was all about treasure, wasn't it? That telephone.
Yeah. Yes, it was. He studies the closed circuit security screens, which are focused on the main treasures of his collection. Everything seems to be in order, but he does study one screen rather closely. It is a figurehead of the god Amun-Ra, festooned with golden jewelry. He is not sure whether there is supposed to be a pair of golden earrings on the idol. You want to go and check it, or do you instead check the main exhibit, the sarcophagus of Princess Ancalis?
No, let's go check out Armin. See what's going on
Yeah,
with
that
his
makes sense
earrings.
to check the thing that looks suspicious, not just a random thing it's just thrown out. 3, 8, 5.
Not really. Not when it comes to fighting fancy. Is Rymester here? I've not heard from him today, but I'd be interested to know if he's here or if you watch this on YouTube, Rymester, how you map this one out.
Yeah, mate. I want to see that. It's got to be like a whole city map, isn't it? You rush to the idol and check for the earrings. There are none there. The professor thumbs through the catalogue to double check the idol. He snorts. My mistake, Crusader. This idol does not have earrings at all. My, I am getting forgetful in my old age. A false alarm. Looks like all is well after all. You decide not to waste any further time here and you leave.
Right.
Interesting. Have gone to the random shit that it just pulled out of nowhere.
We should know better, really, with these these books, shouldn't we? Right. That was fun. This one's been reprinted as well, hasn't it?
Yeah. Right. Where to now?
Is it time to go home and get some more stamina points?
You may want to visit the Titan Central Library to do some research in the criminology section. Or you could go and visit Jerry the Grass. Ask him why you just sent him to an Egyptian museum for no reason whatsoever.
Let's go have a chat with Jerry.
Jerry the Grass. It's Jerry the Grass.
So random.
This is very random. You visit the Grass as the Silver Crusader. He lives in a run-down part of town in a dirty one-bedroom apartment. He is horrified to see you, as your appearance will surely blow his cover. But as always, he has some interesting information.
Okay.
Apparently, the man trapper has control of the mind of Sydney Knox, a research assistant at the Murdoch Nuclear Laboratories. Normally a passive type, he spends all his time in the observation tower at the lab, watching migratory birds. Knox has been implanted with a post-hypnotic suggestion. No one knows exactly what it is, but Jerry's information will help you. If you find yourself looking for Sydney Knox, deduct 40 from the reference you were on at the time and turn to that new reference. You may add 1 luck point for this information. You leave discreetly and go home. The rest of the evening is uneventful, and you add 6 stamina points for the rest.
Well, I'm back up to be full 20 now, at least.
Jeez. Right.
But I do not feel like I am progressing at all towards the aim of finding the F.E.A.R meeting location.
No, it isn't. In the morning, you set off. Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say, I've not come across Tiger Cat or Daddy Rich either. Nothing in relation to them.
Right. In the morning, You set off for a stroll.
Right.
As you turn the corner at the end of the block, the beeping from your wrist signifies the start of your busiest day yet. Murdoch Nuclear Laboratories speaks the message from your crime watch.
I'll
You
go check
gulp.
that out.
Atomic weapons experiments are conducted at the Murdoch Laboratories. Whatever is happening could be very serious indeed. You must get to the Murdoch labs without delay. An atmosphere of panic is in the air when you arrive. A series of controlled radiation experiments were being conducted on animals to help determine the effects of a nuclear explosion. Some startling results have been achieved. Under certain conditions, distinct signs of increased mental powers are being shown by several of the experimental animals.
There's
Some
going
of
to be a
these were
mutant
quite
aardvark.
spectacular. They had, for example, produced a dog able to talk and a chimpanzee able to play computer games. But they had no doubt that similar experiments on humans would have produced much more dramatic results. This theory has now been proved true. Sidney Knox, one of the research assistants, has crept into the radiation chamber that morning, subjected himself to the rays. His brain is now twice the normal size, and he has the ability to manipulate objects by willpower. But there is an unforeseen side effect. Sidney Knox, normally a peaceful individual, has developed a destructive streak. His power enables him to will the radiation emitter to implode and destroy itself. The danger is, if he gets anywhere near the nuclear reactor, destruction of the reactor would mean disaster on the grand scale for Titan City. No one knows where he is, but the reactor must be protected at all costs. Where will you begin your search for the self-made mutant?
I would like to deduct 40 from the current reference number, please, and turn there.
Calculator. Okay. You remember your clue.
Yeah, I do.
You ask someone about such a room and you are directed to the observation tower, hoping that this may lead you to the mutant. Or I think you might be a little bit early.
Am I a bit early?
I think you might have to wait till you've questioned him.
Oh, right, okay. But it said if you're ever trying to find Sidney Knox, and then it said, but we don't know where Sidney Knox is, so. Is Sidney Knox not the mutant himself, though? That's very unclear, isn't it?
Is Let's go
Right,
with
we'll
it. Let's just roll with it. Should we roll with it and just see if it makes sense or not?
Yeah.
Hoping that it may lead you to the mutant. You rush up to the room at the very top. There, staring out of the window at the huge reactor structure, is a man in a white coat with a bloated head the size of a pumpkin. You creep up behind him, deliver a blow to the back of his neck, knock him out, and carry him downstairs to the waiting scientists. You can only hope that they can find a way of. Oh, no, maybe it is right. It's just weirdly written. Either curing him or taming his destructive urges. Though you do not realize it, you have saved perhaps the whole of Titan City from a deadly threat by capturing Sidney Knox. In appreciation for saving the laboratory, the scientists bring you a small pen-like device.
Ooh.
Crusader, this is a gift from us, pleads the Institute director. One of our men made this in his spare time. He calls it Circuit Jammer. It is still to be fully tested, but seems to work okay. I know you often face mechanical villains and their contraptions. With this, you will be able to disable their circuits. You are looking for Vladimir Otto, and he is a very powerful adversary. With this, you stand a better chance. You thank the director for his gift. If it may well come in handy, you may give yourself 5 hero points for
5?
saving the planet. You save the whole planet.
Check me out. Right, there you go.
Thank you, alright. You leave Murdoch Laboratories and head back to town. Walking along Danvers Street, you see a crowd huddled around a shop window, and you step up to see what's going on. In the electrical shop, and the people. What's going on? It is an electrical shop, and the people are staring at a television in the center of the window. A news flash message is being reported by the announcer. You cannot hear what's being said, but you recognize the face of the photograph, which appears briefly on the screen. It's Giorgio Schultz, better known as the Poisoner. What, you wonder, is he up to? Perhaps you'd better go down to police headquarters and find out. Turn to leave and groan as a beep, beep, beep sound on your wrist. Just what you need. You lift it to your ear and listen to the message. Stanley Swimming Pool. Where will you go now? To the police headquarters or to Stanley Swimming Pool?
I'm going to go to Stanley Swimming Pool.
Yeah, you will. Go for a swim.
Yeah, okay, Donny. Donny's gone lurk.
Bye, Lurky Lurkerson. You arrive at Stanley Pool and the doorman rushes into the main hall where the pool is. Your jaw drops as you see the problem. The pool has frozen.
Oh.
Shivering swimmers are staring incredulously at the block of ice that moments before they were swimming in. Two girls, however, were not able to swim to the side in time. They are held fast in the ice, in danger of freezing to death. Their cries are getting weaker. You'd better use your powers to help them quickly, which is psi powers. Let's go to 389.
Yeah, I can't see how my side powers are going to influence this one.
You concentrate hard on the ice around the two swimmers. A puddle of water appears around them, and their spirits rise. You are melting the ice, but the mental effort you are using is considerable. You must lose 4 stamina points to free the two girls. But when you have done so, you may add 2 hero points for undoubtedly saving their lives.
Yeah!
You will not be able to melt the whole pool. You will have to leave this to time. You may leave by turning to 362, or you may want to check the pool's heating plant before you leave.
Yeah, let's find out how and why it was frozen.
Yeah. 4, 3. Heating engineer shows you around the plant. He is mystified as to what has happened. There's nothing wrong with the heating equipment. You double check the controls and scratch your head. Nothing wrong here. Perhaps no one will ever know what caused the incident, but at least the danger is over now.
Oh, God. All right, okay.
There's a strange picture on this page that I need to show you at the end.
Okay.
Right. 362. Da, da, da. 362. Da, da, da. Can't find the page. Got it now. Where will you go next? Perhaps you deserve a little entertainment. The Titan Tigers, a local football team, are playing the Metro Mohawks. If you want to go and watch the game, turn to 114. If you're more concerned about
Let
finding
the games
information
begin!
about the activities of F.E.A.R, you may wish to visit Colonel Saunders at the army base to see whether he knows anything. Was that one of your clues about the Titan Tigers?
No. Well, there's a villain called Tiger Cat.
Ah, okay.
Which I think is what you're remembering there.
Or wasn't someone coming from Metro? She came from Metro, didn't
Metroville, yeah. Was that the other team, was it?
Hmm. Well, the Metro Mohawks. I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like I want to go talk to the Colonel because I've done no
nothing
investigating on the F.E.A.R meeting location. So let's go have a chat with the Colonel.
Go. Colonel, it is 342. You arrive at the army base and are escorted to see Colonel Saunders, who greets you with a warm handshake. Crusader, he smiles. Well, this is an honor. What can I do for you? You explain that you have come to compare notes on the activities of F.E.A.R. So far, Saunders starts, we have come up with nothing. Like you, we have heard that there's a top-level meeting is imminent, and if we are to prevent the villainous escapades, we must capture their leader, Vladimir Otto, before the meeting can take place. They're a powerful crusader and ruthless. You can count on all our help we can give you. Suddenly, an aide bursts into the room. Sir, he pants, helicopters, identity unknown, coming towards the base at 4 o'clock. Colonel leaps into action. Contact them on the radio. If they will not identify themselves, we will open fire. If you have super strength, you can fly out to investigate. Otherwise, you feel slightly useless and get. You rush out into the drill square with the colonel. He is barking orders at the people around him, and through it all, a picture of what is happening emerges. 20 F.E.A.R choppers are heading towards the base, heavily armed.
Wow.
Soldiers are taking up their positions. Where the helicopters come into view, you can see that this is a well-organized raid. You make a guess as to who has organized it. Amid heavy army fire, several of the choppers land within the perimeter fence. A stocky man with a tall forehead in a black costume steps from the leading helicopter. Your guess is confirmed. It's Macro Brain.
All right.
A product of genetic experimentation like yourself, the Macro Brain has developed a tremendous intelligence. But unlike yourself, he has decided to use it to further the cause of evil. A formidable combination, you think. On your own, there is little you could do against this well-disciplined private army. But if the colonel's men could keep them at bay, you have the opportunity to face Macro Bane on his own. As you consider this, a warning comes from your crime watch. Council building, fast. You consider your options. If you wish to leave the army to cope with this struggle, and we'll see this disaster, and we'll see what disaster is happening at the council buildings, then to one page. If instead you try to get Macro Brain on his own, you can't. That's up to you. But would you like to run away from the army attacking the army? Would you like to help the army?
I don't. Yeah. I'll help the army while I'm here. I don't. This book
Whilst
is
you're
so
here.
weird. Sorry, guys. Gotta go. Good luck.
Is that the time?
Crime Watch. My Apple Watch is going off.
You keep out of sight and follow the Macro Brain's movements. Though his forces are putting up a strong fight, the army is holding them back successfully. Your opportunity arises when the Macro Brain steals away into the colonel's office. You are the only one who has noticed, and you follow him there. Oh, if you have psi powers, go here. Okay, right. So you use your powers to some degrees.
We're about to have a psychic battle.
Yeah. You confront the villain in the colonel's office. He is startled to see you appear and turns to face you. So, he smiles. The Silver Crusader as always fights on the side of what is good and just. Sickening. But perhaps that can be changed. What follows is a contest of will, yours against the Macro Brain, who has similar powers. But the Macro Brain has been waiting for this. He has not had such a busy day, and his powerful mind begins to prevail. You break out in a sweat from the exertion and finally drop to your knees in submission, but your foe is not finished yet. Crusader, he announces, for many years you have fought for justice. From now on, you will become the servant of Macro Brain. You feel your will sapping. He has overpowered you and is now implanting mental suggestions. Your struggles are to no avail. No longer will you be Titan City's avenger against evil. Instead, you are destined to become a useful pawn in the immense intelligence that is Macro Brain.
Oh. That's funny. Justin's just propped up in chat. How many do-overs are we at, friends? Possibly. You're about to witness our first one. What the? I mean, seriously, what the fuck?
What? You don't even get to fight him. He just goes, Macro Brain.
Can I not stab him with my circuit jammer pen? Yeah, okay, chat, where we at? Jocelyn says she supports the Takesy Backsy. I'm discerning from Rob's comments he also supports the Takesy Backsy. So what? So I don't help the army. I'll go to the council buildings then.
You just go, Army, you've got this. I need to try and find the page.
Yeah, we've only been on for an hour and a half. All right, we'll do a taxi backseat, just the one.
Before I find the page, that picture is what made me laugh.
What? Has he got pants in his hand? Has he just set fire to a pair of panties?
I don't know.
Yeah, clearly helping the army is a bad idea. Thing is, though, Justin, this book all the way through, my little crime announcing watch always goes off just as another thing is about to happen. So it said, stood in the middle of a crime taking place, and then it says, "Or do you want to go and follow this other crime that your watch has just announced?" It makes no sense. It's so random, balmy.
Come on. I'm going to find the macro brain picture. Here we go. Right. Well-disciplined private army. Okay, so
I'll go to the council buildings, please.
council buildings. Cool, let's go. You speed off back to Titan City and arrive at the council buildings. Everyone seems surprised at your visit. The day has been a peaceful one. Being a holiday, there are a few people about. You certainly seem to be. There certainly doesn't seem to be any danger. Your crime watch beeps again. Sorry, false alarm. Just what you need. Not to die.
Well, yeah, I was about to say, I'll take that false alarm because I know what the alternative is.
Okay, right. You set off home to take some well-deserved rest. The prospect of the F.E.A.R meeting is weighing heavily on your mind, but for the moment, you're well advised to relax for the evening. You gain 6 stamina points for taking it easy. Next morning, you are woken up not by the alarm clock, but by your crime watch. Beep, beep, beep. This time, the message is no longer than normal and it repeats itself. Reliable information. F.E.A.R meeting today. Whereabouts unknown. You spring out of bed. Today! Do you have any clues as to where this meeting is? Where will you go? Park at airport, stay in town, or head towards the waterfront?
First, an observation, if I may.
Yeah.
Is there an unusually high level of crime going on first thing in the morning? It all seems to go off at commuter times.
Yeah.
There's no,
That went off at night, didn't it?
yeah. So that's the first thing. Number two, no, I've got no clues as to, as to the location of the thing. What were my options?
Airport,
Go to airport. I've been to the
stay
airport
in
already, haven't
town, or head towards the waterfront.
I? So I've been to the airport already. That's where we taught the tormentor off the plane, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Jocelyn says waterfront. Yeah, let's go to the waterfront. There's a giant shark been eating swimming kids, so we could have a look at that.
Yeah.
It's
That'll
in
be
no way
fun.
related to the F.E.A.R meeting that I'm supposed to be intercepting, but there we go.
Someone was meeting on a yacht as well, wasn't they? Weren't they? For some treasures.
Oh yeah, that's Mustafa Kareem.
Yeah. Turn to 290. Are you anticipating this meeting? If so, you will know what time you ought to arrive to catch the meeting in progress. Add this time to today's date. Do you know what that is? And turn to the
No.
reference corresponding to the number. If the resulting reference make no sense, go to 368.
368 it is then.
It is hopeless. You do not know where F.E.A.R is holding its meeting, and you have got no chance of finding it in such a short time. Find a convenient spot, change into your street clothes, and hail a cab. The driver has his radio on. As he chats away, the radio sputters and fizzles. The music dies, and an unscheduled announcement interrupts the program. Oh, you're not out of it yet. Oh, yeah, you are. A steely voice with a sinister tone speaks slowly and clearly. Citizens of the world, it announces, do not attempt to retune your receivers. This message is being broadcast on all frequencies simultaneously, in all language, to all areas of the globe. My name is Vladimir Otto. I am known as the Titanium Cyborg. My organization is known to you as the Federation of Euro-American Rebels. My message is this. We have taken control of the Star Wars satellite which orbits the Earth. We demand the unconditional surrender of all your governments and military establishments and the submission of all citizens to our leadership. Any resistance will be dealt with harshly. Our satellite will obliterate one by one the major cities of the Earth. As proof of our power, Titan City will be exterminated in exactly 30 seconds. Your heart sinks. You have failed to stop the fateful meeting of fear. The whole world must now pay the penalty. I got nowhere to take you back to, mate.
No, and even if we did take you back, we would go to whatever it was, stay in town or whatever, and we still wouldn't know where the meeting was.
No.
So
Because it's in the waterfront. You know it's the waterfront, but you should have had there's some clue as to time and date or something.
well, no, I don't think you did lead us on the wrong path, Jocelyn. We just hadn't accrued any information. I mean, I've got 12 hero points. I've been going around, saving kids in unexplained frozen swimming pools and stopping pickpockets and stuff. But I don't know. At what point was there a potential F.E.A.R meeting lead in front of me?
I'm not sure there ever was.
No, I don't think there was. So the moral of the story, folks, with the appointment with F.E.A.R is just respond to the Crime Watch. But even then, when I did respond to the Crime Watch,
crap.
we got there. Like the Egyptian exhibit was just like, yeah, nothing going on here, mate. Oh, that statue might be missing some earrings. Oh no, sorry, it doesn't seem to be missing the earrings.
Tell you what, there was a lot of options in this, wasn't there?
Yeah, but no data to use for the options.
No, it was pure guess.
And this whole Crime Watch thing going off every time you're in the middle of something else seems a bit random. Yeah, confused by that one. I'm sat here a bit perplexed on that one. I mean, I've literally filled like 2 pages with random notes of
Random shit.
Giant shark attack, acid gas bank robbery, gold watch pawn shop, Rad Square, monster attack at Audubon Park. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I quite like it in a way that you had loads of choice, but I don't like it because it still didn't nudge you. You still have loads of choice, but it still nudge you in the right direction.
Yeah.
And it just let you go off and do random shit, and then went, "Now you did." It's a bit like that space one that we did.
Starship Travelers.
Starship Travelers. Well, I farted around on different planets, and then it went, "Yeah, you ran out of time. You did."
Yeah, that's just weird. That one, weird. All right, well, that's the way that goes sometimes.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, because you need some information. You need some like data to make your decisions based around.
Yeah.
But every time I was making decisions on, I was waiting for it to give me something that may lead to the. And even when there was a bit of a whiff of something connecting to one of the clues, like the treasure at the museum, and we've got the tape recording of the bugged call that talked about treasure being stolen. Nothing came of it. It was odd.
No. I was waiting for a cat to turn up, or for that mad billionaire,
Rich murderer,
yeah, rock up, but that didn't seem. Although you've got there's loads of clues. Like each superhero has one clue they get, and then a choice of 3 other clues.
Right.
I don't know if there's like a multiple villains that you can chase down,
or a better clue.
Yeah.
At least. Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. Another defeat. The cables are all tangled up here. Another loss.
Meh.
Meh.